Alright, what's up everyone? Today we're diving into a story from the Malicious Compliance subreddit. We're checking out a post titled, "Order to do maintenance on a grill without the right equipment, grill was broken trying anyways." Sounds like someone had a bad day, let's get into it. Another fun story about my favorite supervisor from when I was in the Navy. A little bit of backstory to help explain some of the later facts. In the military, every piece of equipment gets preventative maintenance done on it to maintain it in good, working condition. In the Navy, we have a very well laid out maintenance system with step-by-step instructions on how to do every bit of maintenance, with instructions so simple a monkey could do it. Part of these maintenance procedures lists required tools, parts, materials, and test equipment, and they are also extremely specific, detailing the length requirement of your screwdrivers, the brand of your gauges, etc. The management of this system the Navy uses is called the Maintenance and Material Management System, 3M, or Planned Maintenance System, PMS. As an electrician, we owned all electrical distribution equipment on board, and for jobs without an electrical training background, we also owned the actual equipment. So the electronics technicians with electrical training could maintain their own electrical equipment. But the cooks, culinary specialists without an electrical background relied on us to maintain their equipment for them. Now, if you've ever used a commercial flat-top grill/griddle before, you know you set it to a specific temperature you want the cooktop heated to and not a 0 to 9 dial like your stove at home. Part of maintaining the griddle was checking the calibration of this temperature setting once every year or two. I forget how often this check was, but it wasn't a frequent check. Relatively early on when I got on board the ship, young Ian Fenn, junior electrician, Gwen BD 94 was assigned to do this maintenance check, so I gathered all of my tools, parts, materials, etc. In doing so, I couldn't find the proper temperature sensor for our calibrated temperature gauge. We had the round-tip ambient temperature probe for use in the ovens, but not the flat-tip surface temperature probe for use on a griddle. I asked a different supervisor to my favorite supervisor for help, and he couldn't find it either, so we ordered a new one, and he said he'd take care of the paperwork for the maintenance check. Being new and unfamiliar with the system, I let it go and never questioned when the maintenance check disappeared from the maintenance list the next week, meaning someone accomplished it, hint hint nudge nudge, and all was good. The next time this maintenance check came up due, we were on deployment, and it was again assigned to me. By this time, we had a new supervisor, and I was now EM3, slightly less junior electrician, Gwen BD 94. A bit more knowledgeable. I looked where we kept all our calibrated equipment and couldn't find the flat-top temperature probe I knew it needed, so I asked my supervisor. He found we had one on order but didn't know that we had one in the shop and told me to figure it out. Knowing that was an unlawful order and would amount to lying about the check and could bite me in the ass later, I said I wouldn't do the maintenance without the right equipment, and since he couldn't lawfully order me to, we started putting a note on the check that the tools were on order and delaying it. This went on for about 2 to 3 months until the check was about to go red, move out of periodicity, and cause negative numbers on out maintenance reports, and I was again ordered to figure it out or I'd be written up. I refused and raised the same issue to my boss's boss, and we tore the shop apart trying to find the right equipment but couldn't find it, so he told me not to worry about it. Later that week, while I was on watch as a roving watchstander allowed to walk around the ship and even required to, after dinner one evening I saw a newer, more junior electrician, let's call him EMFA Timmy. Even more junior than I initially was electrician, in the galley kitchen, working on the griddle. I took a step into the galley and asked him what he was doing, and lo and behold, he was doing the maintenance check. I asked him what temperature probe he was using, and he showed me the one for the oven. I explained to him the issue and told him if he signed the maintenance check it would be gun-decking, lying on official paperwork, and he could get in trouble, but let him make his own decisions as an adult. He decided to continue doing the check. I giggled and continued on with my watch. After my watch, it was nearly 10 p.m., so I went to bed for the night. About an hour later, I got woken up being told my supervisor needed me in the galley. I signed, figuring it was about the check, and I was going to get that earlier threatened write-up. After getting dressed and making it to the galley, the entire electrical shop was in the galley troubleshooting the griddle. You see, EMFA Timmy got to the step in the PMS where it said to use a screwdriver to adjust a dial until the thermometer read the same temperature indicated by the set temperature. When he measured it, it was off by about 150 degrees, so he kept turning up the heat. Eventually, it was hot enough to melt the griddle's built-in overtemp protection device, instantly shutting the stovetop off. Turns out he did need that temperature probe. I was tasked with helping come up with a solution to fix it because the griddle was a critical piece of equipment for the cooks and we had no replacement parts to fix it. I asked DMFA Timmy if he ever finished the last steps of the maintenance card, turning the grill off, putting it back together, reporting completion of the PMS. He told me he hadn't. I turned to my boss and said since the maintenance check I explicitly advised against doing without the proper tools was still ongoing and I was informed I could do the maintenance or be written up, I'd stick with my original decision and refuse to do the maintenance. He could write me up in the morning during working hours, but in the meantime I was going back to bed. Have a nice night. In the morning, I did indeed get written up, but for the insubordination, not for refusing the maintenance check, while my boss looked on with the biggest shit-eating grin at me for holding my ground, and my supervisor was pissed at me. Turns out I was right, and we couldn't do that maintenance check without the right equipment. This remains one of my write-ups I am least ashamed to have ever gotten, and I'd take it again in a heartbeat to give a giant "I told you so" middle finger to idiot middle managers. I later found an electronic record of the counseling chit my supervisor got for tasks people with doing maintenance without the proper equipment. Because I laid out that this was a known issue, we didn't have the right probe for years and threw his ass deep under the bus, hated the guy. We got the right probe in about 6 months later. TLDR. I got told to do a job I couldn't do or get written up. I refused. Someone dumber got roped into doing it. Stuff broke. I got told to help fix it. I said I already accepted being written up for opting out of this experience and took the write-up. Posting to our /malicious compliance and our /military stories as well. Okay, so this dude was in the Navy. They have a very specific maintenance system. Like super detailed. Apparently even the cooks need electricians to maintain their equipment. Got it, griddle maintenance time. They didn't have the right temperature sensor. New guy gets told to figure it out. That's messed up, man. He sticks to his guns and says no. Then Timmy comes along. Wait, he used the oven probe on the griddle? The guy warns him about signing off on it. Timmy keeps going. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Yep, the griddle melts down. He gets to say, I told you so. Even got a write-up he was proud of. And threw his supervisor under the bus. All because of a missing temperature probe. Let's explore the comments and see different perspectives. Did they ever launch a probe into the incident? Another of those boss and boss kicked us out of the shop for a one-on-one convo situations, and I later found an electronic record of the counseling chit my supervisor got for tasks people with doing maintenance without the proper equipment. Because I laid out that this was a known issue, we didn't have the right probe for years and threw his ass deep under the bus, hated the guy. We got the right probe in about 6 months later. Laughing face? Did they ever figure out what happened to the probe you supposedly had in the shop? Lost in the bowels of the ship, trashed with no documentation, etc.? We probably never had the right one to begin with. It was a relatively recently commissioned ship, so these were the first 2 times the check came up, and this is the only check we used that probe for. This is excellent, our /malicious compliance. My husband previously worked for a military contractor, and the number of work orders he had to do to fix the previous guy's pencil decking is astronomical. That contractor is also fraught with a million other problems and is about to find themselves in a lot of shit with the military. Well, I guess if you can't read the heat, you should stay out of the kitchen. Having been in the Navy myself, this broken grill is a big deal. Good on you sticking to instructions. Right? I'm not gonna risk cast-repping the damn galley griddle in the middle of deployment. I don't want 300 angry sailors to murder me at night. Exactly. Morale is connected to food. Here's one for you being an electrician. This was AE5 sonar tech, I believe, was doing PMs on a piece of sonar gear. Had a screwdriver or something poking inside with the top cover off. He got shocked. Stood back and said that shouldn't have done that. Then did it again. We were rolling around radio across the hall laughing. I think he only had 1 bus tagged out. Listen, go easy on the guy. I've been there. Went to work on a dryer that had been tagged out for a year and got shocked, initial jump and confusion, that shouldn't have done that. Tested again to make sure I got shocked by that line and not something else close by to trace the source of the live electricity. Got shocked again, check the tag out, it's tagged out, assume it's the wrong breaker, turn off every other breaker on the panel that feeds the dryer, test the shock again, get shocked. At this point, getting real fed up that this damn dryer won't just turn off already, turn off the entire panel, 1 more panel upstream, test it again, no shock. After we fixed the dryer and I tried to figure out what went wrong, I realized the original person who tagged the dryer out of service tagged the breaker in the on position instead of the off, and I hadn't noticed. Laughing face? Ah yes, the military, where you can order everything you want or need, but you won't get any of it until someone sufficiently high up gets in trouble because you don't have it. Thanks for tuning in. Share your opinions in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.